I'm excited to teach you this next concept, which is lists. Lists are basically arrays that you'd see in any other programming language, but I love that Python calls them lists instead of arrays. It's a way to have some ordered information, right? It just, to me, conceptually, it makes much more sense as a list rather than an array. So to create a list in Python, let's go ahead and give ourselves some space here. All you do is create a variable name that you want for your list. So if I want a list of dog names, I'm going to say dog names is equal to, and then to make a list I do square brackets like this, and then I just put a list of any sort of value I want in there. So if I do dog names, I might put like Fido, and to separate the different items in there you do a comma. So Fido, Sean's another one, I'm going to put in Sally, and maybe Mark. Okay, so here's like 4 dogs inside of this list. Then we can take this list if we want to print out the information inside of here. It's really simple. We just say print dog names just like this. So let's save it and run it, see what we get. You can see it prints out Fido, Sean, Sally, Mark. And with lists and arrays, I should stick with lists. List is the official Python term. It is an ordered set of things. So it's not like you see this order of Fido, Sean, Sally, Mark. It'll always be in this order. We'll never change that around on you. Now, if you want to add something into this list, that's simple enough. You just say dog names dot insert. Okay, and with this insert function, you say where you want this thing to go. So if you want it to go at the very beginning, you would put a 0. Lists in Python are a 0-based thing, just like you'd see with almost any other programming language. So to get the first object, you give it the value of 0. The second one is 1. The third one is 2. Like you probably get the picture, but just know it's normal like that. So we say where we want to put it. In this case, if I say 0, I'm saying put it at the very beginning, and then say what you want to put in there. And I'm going to put something like Jane. Okay, so we're going to have a new dog, Jane. We'll save this, and if I hit run, well, nothing happens because I didn't print out dog names. So I'm going to print out dog names just like that. Run one more time. You can see Jane has now been added to the front of this list. So pretty simple to, kind of modify this, add things in there if we want to. If you want to get a specific item in the array, for example, if I want the second item in the array, or let's say the third one, right? I'm going to delete this Jane thing. So if I want to get the third item in here, which is Sally, I can just do square brackets at the end of my list and then specify what index I want. So if I put 2, like 0, 1, 2, this should give me Sally. I'm going to go ahead and hit save here, hit this, and boom, it returns back Sally to me. So if I want to remove or delete something from a list, that's totally possible here in Python. All you got to do is do del, short for delete, and then pass in whatever it is you want to get rid of. So if I want to get rid of Sally, I'm going to go ahead and copy this code that we have right here. You just give the name of the list, and then what item it is particularly in there you want to get rid of. I want to get the thing rid of index 2, and that should get it of Sally. And then let's go ahead and print out whatever the list is here so that we can see that information. So I'll save this, go back to my terminal, hit run here. And look, Fido, Sean, Mark. So it got rid of Sally in the middle of this list here. Now, if you want to get the length of how many things are inside of a list, you just do len and then parenthesis around the name of your list here. So if we do len, whatever dog names is, this should give us back, since we removed one of these, it should be 3. So go ahead and run this. You can see it gives us 3. If we get rid of this line of code, now there should be 4 things inside of there, right? So if we run this, boom, look at that, it shows 4. So that's kind of the basics with lists. Again, I love that Python calls them lists instead of array. I just think conceptually it makes so much more sense. And I will add one more tidbit. If you ever want to update something inside of a list, so for example, let's get this back to just printing out the dog list here. Right, so run this, looks good. If I want to update one of these and saying, you know what, I really don't want Sean in there, I want to have Jane inside of there. You can say dog names, say I want to get it index 1, and say this is now equal to Jane, like this, okay? If I go ahead and run this, you can see Sean has been replaced by Jane. And one more important thing, I keep remembering cool things about lists that I want to share with you. You probably don't need all this information, but good to have, is that lists in Python, they don't always have to be the same type. So for example, I've used strings throughout this whole situation, but you can have ints in here if you want to. You can have booleans. You could have doubles or floats if you want. Like, this is totally valid. Let me show you. We run this. That's totally fine. There's nothing in Python that says, okay, your list has to only contain strings or only contain ints. No, it can hold whatever type of value it wants to, and that makes it really flexible. It can be dangerous, I think, if you're passing the wrong thing in there, but is also very flexible, which makes it cool.